welcome to our very first Facebook Live event that we're going to be holding here at T-Werx once a quarter. The idea of this is really to provide everybody with more information, and we want to actually teach people a little bit about why we use Facebook Live, why we use any kind of live video, why you should use video in your business. So that's what today's topic is going to be. It's going to be moderated by my friend Hurdie Burk and our wonderful guest here. So I'll let Hurdie introduce our guests and run through this. Now, for those of you that are watching us on Facebook Live right now, we will be monitoring, or I will be actually monitoring our Facebook Live. So if you have a question and you're out there in the audience, feel free to put that in, and then we will ask that of the audience. We'll answer it live for you. So with that, Mr. Hurdie Burk.
Thanks, guys. Hey, everybody, welcome. And we've got an audience here. Thank you guys for being here, first of all. And if you have questions during this, don't hesitate to raise your hand. We will address you, give you some kudos. And yes, this is our first attempt at a live panel, and you can see we have 3 other people sitting up here, 5 myself. So we're going to go quickly. I'm going to start with Bill. Bill, if you don't mind, introduce yourself, tell us the name of your business, and take about 30 seconds to tell us what you guys do.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Bill Combs, and I am the founder of No Time for Social. We are a social media agency based in Round Rock. We manage social media for various clients locally and across the United States.
Super. Alli?
Hi, I'm Alli Blotter with AV Marketing and Copywriting. I'm an independent content creator and marketing strategist, and I provide creative copy, videos, and strategies for conscious entrepreneurs.
And I'm Rachelle Grossman. I'm an area director with a company called N2 Publishing. We turn neighborhoods into communities through private monthly magazines that are serving more than 21 local communities large size in the greater Boston area.
And my name is Hurdie Burk, Hurdie Burk Consulting. I help small businesses that are confused and stuck out of market using video online. So we're going to get started. We have our crack staff of producers. That's you folks out there in the world. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, have some questions for us that I've pre-written down. And I'm not really sure, Bill, Rachelle, Alli, what order to ask these in. So I guess we start with Bill. Bill, and then you guys, because it's live, can jump in and make comments anywhere. And if you guys have some questions on some of those comments, raise your hand. We'll jump on you. Jeff, you'll jump in if you have some questions for us too.
Absolutely.
All right, Bill. Let's start with you. Can if somebody's on Facebook Live and they finished it and they want to go back and see how many people viewed it, can they tell the person's name or person that actually watched the video?
Only if they comment or like the video itself. So the actual views themselves, you won't be able to see all the viewers and the list of viewers, but you can see how many, if somebody likes a video or somebody comments, obviously their profile is going to show up. There is one way to potentially target that group of people though, in that Facebook will track viewership, and you can always set up a custom audience after the video ends to target people that have viewed a video. So that's a way to maybe target them if you're looking to target somebody afterwards.
So and let's add a little bit. So if you go into your settings on Facebook and go down where it says customize or optimize your target market, which is part of your basic Facebook page, right?
It is.
They can go in and click a category and then post that so it directs to those folks, right?
Yes, that is one angle.
Okay.
The other is to go deep down into the Facebook audience platform. So
and go back
in
behind
the
it.
advertising platform itself, there is a section called audiences, and that's where you go in and you can create audiences based off of video views. You can create them off of website views. There's
a plethora of things you can do on the live video after it's finished. If you decide you want to advertise, you can go in and really direct it to a target audience.
We do that now for our clients. Yes.
Cool.
Just I know, if I may jump in, that most people who are just new to trying this, I just want to say, just do it. So yes, it can be very complicated, but I think sometimes the more technical things get, the more people have a little bit of a fear factor. So while It's great that the applications are out there and that ability is out there. Just do it.
Yeah, you gotta jump in and take that first step.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've bumped into for folks when I do videos is if you nail down, there's 5 things. One of them is camera fear. And I think, and Alli's shaking her head, so a lot because she's been in this business, so camera fear could be a big part of why people don't do this. But I'm saying, turn the camera around if you want, and that leads me to my next question, Alli, Rachelle, on this. What is the best way to shoot the video if you're using your phone? Do you want to do it vertical, or do you want to do it horizontal, or does it matter?
I'd recommend horizontal. It's just more engaging. That way you get to see the environment they're in. If someone's just in this vacuum of them, that's not really engaging. If you can, add camera movement. That really makes it kind of gets boring.
Just don't pan fast.
Right?
Right? Your eye works better than the camera. You know, so when you pan a camera and pan it slow, because your eye does a better job of adjusting than a camera, right? Okay.
I think what's important to note too, along with the camera fear, is people actually like to see people making mistakes. It makes you feel real, it makes you feel human, so that's why I said just do it. It's okay if you make a mistake.
Sure.
It's okay if you flub your words.
Yeah.
We're all human, and I think it almost makes you more endearing and more watchable, and more people will want to watch if they think there is going to be a mistake.
And so you're talking about the authentic, genuine side of us that's different from a commercial.
Yes, don't let that fear.
It draws attention,
Stop.
engagement, because it gets the attention of being authentic and genuine, which is what people like online, by the way.
Absolutely.
A question from the audience here.
Yeah, yes.
How many is too many videos in a day or a week?
I think it's about a goal, not just to do it for doing it, but what is the mission? Who's your target audience? What do you want to communicate to them? And what do you want them to do after? What's the call to action? If you don't have those steps set up for every video, there's no point to it.
Okay.
But I was talking with one of our panel, no, we're the panel, one of our audience
Jason.
members. See, I made a mistake, oops. Dr. Jason Owens. And his comment was, if you do them too often, it gets too much.
It's like over posting.
Oh, yes, and people tend to tune out then. So you want to be a little strategic about what, and make it interesting, make it fun.
Yeah, and so the other question is, can you promote a live Facebook video before you do it? Is there a way to schedule that video live before you do it? Bill's shaking his head.
Yes.
Jump in.
Absolutely, and that's what T-Werx did with this event.
And how do you
It's
do
posted
that?
and promoted. You just set it up as an event, as a Facebook Live event on your page,
Right.
and that could be produced, set up, put on your Facebook page. You can even promote it beforehand, and if you're promoting it beforehand and it's showing up in the feed of your audience members, they can schedule, they can hit remind me, so you'll get a reminder beforehand. That
So it's just using the event tool
Yep.
on both the business and
Correct.
personal page, and which leads me to another question. A lot of people, maybe y'all can answer this. Can you do live video on any kind of Facebook page, like group page, business page, personal page? Everybody's shaking their head.
You can.
Comments?
Yes.
So take advantage of that, right? All
A
right.
question from the audience too,
Yeah.
regarding it, so along those same lines.
Okay.
Is it best to use your personal or your business page? What's better if you're promoting something in the business world? Should you use your business page?
Mhm.
Yes.
I think if you're an individual entrepreneur, you're a one-person show, the authenticity of doing your own live video, of being able to promote your own personal brand, I think could have some importance to it. If you're a larger business, it tends to maybe muddy the water a little
Yeah.
bit, right? So if you're running if you've got a, 100-person company and you're using your own personal page to promote, you're not going to get that audience reach.
No.
Now, there is a way, if you went into a group that was super important, you could go into that group as a person and be able to, in fact, that's the only way you could go into a group, by the way. A business could not do a live video in a group. So that may be a place where that crossroads hits. You've got your own personal brand, or even if you're an employee of a business and you wanted to promote that business, you would have to do it through your own personal page.
Right.
From a business perspective, though, you would want to run those as a business.
Yeah. If you have a business page, start there. Even though it's probably not going to get the reach you think because you're not running an ad program, realize your reach is not as well, but at least video is a better option than just posting text, right?
Right.
So,
And it's going to grow it.
I think with business pages, it has the advantage of the analytics. That way after you can go see, and you can see the types of people who watched, their age range, their behaviors. You get more, you learn from what you did. With your personal page, you don't get that. And it's also, again, about the target. Do you want to talk to your friends? Do you want to talk to people who have actively subscribed to your business page? It's really, again, about the goals.
and I'll tell you a little bit about the authentic and genuine. I walked my Australian Shepherd on Sunday mornings and turned on the camera one time and just showed him walking, and I came home 369 views and hearts and likes and faces, and all I did was walk the dog. So there is a lot of interest in people following this video. Yeah.
Now, if you're a solo entrepreneur or maybe a business of 2 or 3 people, is there a way that you could do both personal and business, or does it not allow that, or should you do personal and share it to your business, or do it on business and share it to your personal? Is there one better than the other?
I find on business and share to personal. That way you get that analytics and you get your friends to see all of it. So that's what I found.
And you can do that, and also you can download the Facebook business video if it's really good, and you can upload it to some other social sites like YouTube and Twitter. So be aware that there's some advantages. So let's talk about that next question. Can you download Facebook Live video? And very few people realize you can download video from Facebook. And who wants to comment on how that's done?
I go to Bill.
So there are a couple options in there. One of them are there's companies that you could just scrape the video from. So you just take the video URL, drop it in,
and it just downloads
it's
it
going
for
to
you.
download
Right.
the video for you. That's probably the easiest method to do it. I believe you mentioned, Hurdie, that there may even be some options now, and it depends on the rollout on some of these things, that Facebook may allow you within your URL to download the video.
There's 3 dots in the video now on live where you can click it and do a download, I think, for your own personal use.
Yep.
But there's also Chrome extensions on the Chrome browser and Mozilla or Firefox, wherever you use it, you can download. But I say be very careful about those extensions, because a lot of them aren't double checked by virus. They might have malware. They might load a search engine on yours. So
you gotta be careful.
make sure you vet those, or go read about it before you download those.
But the video will stay on your timeline, just like any other post will, and then you can download the video from your timeline. Correct?
Yes.
And that leads me to a great question with you guys is, once you put a video up and it starts disappearing down the timeline, what do you think about repurposing that video at some point if it's relevant to your product? Just reissuing it to the top of your page. Can you pin it to your page as your top post?
You can.
And how does one do that?
You should be able to right click on it, and then you're going to get your drop downs. It's going to give you the various options, and it will say pin post.
Right.
So you'll pin that post to the top of your page.
We're covering basics,
No, I was just saying you pins it to the top of the page.
Which means if you wanted something ongoing, sitting there at the top of your page that everybody would see when they came onto it, it would always be there till you pin the next one up, which is not a bad option. If you want it to stay at the top of your timeline.
Question from the audience.
Yes.
How should you best get your contact information out there on your social media on a video?
Yeah, I would say keep it simple here. Just say who you are, say where you are, and repeat it maybe every couple of minutes or so. Hi, I'm Rachelle, we're here at T-Werx and blah, blah, blah. You introduce your people. But you've got people potentially coming in and out, so you'll want to reintroduce yourself about 2 minutes in, and then before you close, you want to give it that close. Don't overthink it, but make sure it's like you say who you are and goodbye to wrap up the video as well.
Okay.
Say it.
And Rachelle, you had a question from somebody had to leave. You want to go ahead and address that from?
Sure. See, I told you I had memory problems.
Right.
Sam Wakefield with New Dawn Investments, and I wrote, he had a question when it came to that personal versus your business page. Where do you want to really
do Facebook Live more often, and can there be some bleed over? I know we had talked about that a little bit, and I think the consensus was really we want to do Facebook Live on our business page, and if it's necessary or it makes sense to share it onto your personal page, to go ahead and
Or a
do
group
that.
page too, if you have a group that you're monitoring. So Alli, Bill, and Rachelle, the next, and I'm drawing a blank here on the question, that's okay, I'll come back to it, is that do you find, how do you stop shaky? This was what I was going to ask. A lot of people have shakes, and it gets real irritating if they're over shaken. So wouldn't it be better if they added, like we have up here, a phone with a little bit of maybe a tripod to hold to kind of keep it from shaking? So tell us a little bit about how we eliminate, you've done video, how do we eliminate holding our phones and not shaking so bad?
There's a couple things you can do. If you don't have a tripod, use your laptop. You can set it up on like a box or something, make it up high above you so it's above eye level. They have glide cams if you want to invest in it. It's a motion stabilizer, so you can walk around with it.
I just got one of those.
Yeah.
Is that the thing, it circles it and
SMLB.
keeps the camera in the same place?
I think it depends on what your video is too. So if you're having a panel discussion like this, you obviously want that steady cam. But certain types of situations, I don't know, say you're at a live event or a zoo, driving a race car,
Right.
there is that authenticity to it being
Right.
real and shaky. So
Right.
it has to be almost event specific.
Sure.
Yeah. At conferences, I use an iPad. Just
Yeah, because you've got
set it
the
stable.
caster thing around it where you can plug in audio and everything, which is kind of cool. So, you know, I tell people, experiment. You know, find out what feels the best to you and try that. So that was a good question, Alli, you brought up. Let's jump into that. Can you use Facebook Live from, say, a desktop computer or a laptop computer, and what would you need?
Just a Wi-Fi connection.
And a cam, right? And your
Yeah.
cam, whether it's high HD camera attached to the one in your laptop, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I want to go back to this. So after the video's over, the Facebook Live video's over, somebody had asked us, what's important information to let them know who you are, right? I wouldn't be opposed in the status to put my website to gain some traffic there, right? And what else, what other kind of information would you want in the description?
I've gone as far as even repurposing a live video, uploading it as a new video, and then adding in the closed captions.
A closed caption, I think, is a huge, great
Yep.
idea.
So we have a immigration attorney in Austin that we work with pretty closely with, and she does live videos a lot, right? She'll talk and she'll do 30-minute videos, 20-minute
That's
videos,
great.
talking about multiple immigration issues, all these new things that are coming down the line from the government, and we will repurpose those, upload them back into Facebook and use those for our Facebook advertisements.
So you download it, put a closed caption on it to get the search benefit from having the text built into
Correct.
it, and to let people that maybe are deaf, they can take advantage
Sure.
of watching that video also.
Subtitle the broadcast, for
Yep.
sure.
So, yeah,
It wouldn't go with my profession, but for immigration, you could you translate it into Spanish or English or
We
vice
do.
versa? So
Yeah.
then, if you're English, you can hear it, speak English, but then
Yep.
if you're Spanish, you can read it.
We
Yeah.
we will often translate the text in the text part of what we're discussing within the ad. So if it's 3 or 4 lines talking about what the video is about, and then depending on if the video is in Spanish or English, we'll translate it one way or another. So we've got those capabilities. Yeah.
and I would say, and y'all comment on this, when you're doing a Facebook Live video online, don't be disappointed if you don't have that large audience on the front end. 80% of the people that watch these watch them after it's on archive, kind of on demand is what we call it. So
Sure.
you don't want to, and why is that important?
For us as an agency, it's important because we will usually use advertising dollars after the live video is done to promote the ad. So, or to promote the live video. So we've had instances, we have a client locally here, I won't name them, but they're a freestanding emergency room. So we have done some live videos in the past with them where we'll interview a doctor and they'll talk about concussions, they'll talk about rattlesnake bites, they'll talk about things that go on in Central Texas. So that video is about 10 minutes. We'll get some viewership, let's say we get 500 people total over that time period that watches the video. Well, that's great until we come in with advertising dollars on the back end and run that for 2 weeks with, a couple $100s, and now all of a sudden we have 10,000 views. Because it's showing up in the feed, people are sharing it, they're sharing it to groups. Now all of a sudden they've gotten 10,000 views for a couple $100s in ad spend.
And I think that is probably the biggest point here, and that goes back to my just do it. The fact that these videos can be repurposed and have legs after the video is done,
Absolutely.
if you keep them topic specific, engaging, entertaining, and searchable,
Yep.
for almost no money.
Yeah.
And Alli, you do copyright a lot of things. You're in this world. You probably see that people shoot a live video and all of a sudden it becomes a really good one, and all of a sudden it's something people like to view. So if you're shooting content, the ability to get one out there that works.
Yeah, and we were talking about repurposing as blogs.
Right.
Like you can go in and take the text from the video and make it a blog, and there's a whole lot of different things you can do. You can take snippets from the video and make whole new posts on Twitter or Instagram. Take little snippets of it. So yeah, there's so many different things you can do.
And
Where do you archive them?
What's that?
Where do you archive these videos? Are they just archived automatically on Facebook?
They're on your timeline, or you can download them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They are wherever you do the live video at. Like if you do it on your business page, as soon as it's over, it's going to archive on that page. Then you have a choice if you want to download that and then repurpose it somewhere else.
Yep.
But it's going to be where you do it. So if I do it in my personal group, it's going to be in the group. If I do it on the page, that's the beauty of it.
Where would you typically download them to? I mean, just
Oh,
to your hard
direct.
drive?
Yeah, right, direct to your.
Okay.
But yeah, on business pages, there's a section where it's about photos, videos. You can go click on videos so someone can see all of your past videos.
Okay, so
Yeah, and if you look at the new navigation on the left of your Facebook page, you'll see videos. And if you click that, it's going to keep an archive of everything there. You can repurpose from there. You can do anything you want with those from there.
Keep in mind too, if people are a little afraid to do their first one, you can change your settings. You can try one and maybe just set as the viewer only me, just to make sure you get that set of comfortability.
Kind of an unlisted look until you decide it's good enough or you want to repeat it or redo it. Good point.
Or just go for it.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about repurposing videos, I know this is Facebook Live, but you said blog, but what are some other really good traction areas? LinkedIn, Twitter, I don't know, Snapchat, or whatever else is out there. Have you seen good YouTube, good return on maybe personal websites? Have you guys seen?
LinkedIn is huge.
It is, now that they've opened it up to video, but from a live video standpoint, Periscope, live Twitter, YouTube now is an app that if you have a certain amount of subscribers, you can do live video. So the whole live video field is getting crazy. And I would say the two biggest genres y'all typed in on this are how-to and tips and your genuine advertising, right? So y'all chime in on that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm a Facebook Live newbie, so it always confuses
But you
me.
sing so well on it, Kim. This is Kim Stanley, by the way, from Downsize Your Home.
So, yeah, the whole thing confuses me, but what you were saying, Rachelle, about you can make, if you're doing it and you're unsure about it, you can, when you record it, you can make it private before you record it.
So, if you were to use your phone,
Yeah.
just like you would, share something, you can decide who you share it with, public, only
And
my
privacy.
friends, yes. So,
But you can do that before you record, okay? Because the few times that I've done it, all of a sudden I'm seeing a couple of likes and this and that going up, and that part confuses me too. Where are those coming from? People are actually watching it and doing that?
Yes.
right. So that's people
That's people actually
reacting to your
liking it,
video.
reacting
That's a
to
good
it.
thing.
Which is scary, it scares the crap out of me.
It is scary. But that's the just do it. So just kind of adopt the new technology and go for it.
I think it helps me personally because when you're just looking at nothing, just the phone, it's kind of intimidating, but when you're actually here with people, you see their reactions, And when you get that like, it's that extra boost of, hey, someone liked what I said. Like, you kind of take it in and enjoy that little extra boost that someone loves what you're saying.
Scott first.
So when you're filming, how important is the venue in the background? Some people sit in their car and
A lot of people do.
As long as you're not driving, I'm all for you. I can't tell you how many I've seen driving cars and I'm wondering, what are
Bad
you
idea.
doing? Tell people, I like to do this so I don't get in trouble. If I'm in the car, the first thing I say is, I'm sitting in a parking lot and I just want to give you this message. Do not look like you're driving down the road. It'll make people mad and they'll troll you for that.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Right, but does that make it, which one makes you look better? Sitting in a car or having some kind of background, wall? What looks better?
Yeah, well,
Lighting is everything.
Lighting is everything, right.
And sometimes you can't control that.
That's true too.
you know, the lighting, and then you get to more of a studio, a controlled video versus Facebook Live with this authenticity. But I would say, keeping the video visually engaging is really important. Maybe not for the first couple times, just as you're kind of getting your sea legs underneath you, but you want the viewer to be engaged and interested. And if it's kind of just like TV, if it's, boring, then are they going to come back or change the channel?
I would go online and look up Basic 101 shooting video and just learn some of the basic tricks. For instance, you wouldn't want to stand at this window being a backdrop because it's going to silhouette you and make you look dark. So you just go do an online tutorial course for like Video 101. You'll learn a lot. That's how I started. When I started shooting video in 2007, I knew nothing except I used to purpose it, but I never shot it from behind the camera. It's a learning curve. Teresa.
So I have, this is more of a technical question, I guess. So there is prep that has to be done to do a live video. Because I get on there and I'm like, okay, now what am I doing? Okay, now, wait, I didn't get that 3, 2, 1 thing. Wait, am I live? Am I not live? So what is the prep that needs to be done to shoot a live video?
I think, again, with the goals, the mission, another thing is to imagine who you're talking to. Just sort of talking to anyone in a vacuum, it's not personal. If you can picture exactly a person or two you're talking to, it kind of calms your nerves and it also makes them feel like you're talking to them instead of at them.
That's huge.
Okay, so
right there.
I'm getting even more technical. So one time I shot a live video and I ended up having no internet connection and didn't realize it wasn't a live video.
Right.
So there's things that you need to know before you start.
Yeah, it'll usually tell you the connection is bad and the live video is disconnected. And I'm also sure that 3, 2, 1 has gone away. I learned that.
Just the other day.
Oh, you did? You had 3, 2, 1? Okay,
Yeah,
so
the lighting of the.
on some pages we don't have 3, 2, 1 anymore, and I don't know what. Well, we went to go do a live video, and I was like, it's going to be 3, 2, 1, and it wasn't there, but we were live, and I was like, go.
So be aware that when you're on a public Wi-Fi that you're sharing for free, like a Starbucks, and you try to do one, they may block that because of the bandwidth issues. So use your own hotspot. Be aware that it sometimes has nothing to do with your phone. It has to do with the environment you're in. So you want to make sure you're using your own Wi-Fi or hotspot connection, right?
You can try the privacy. You can start out making like a 30-second video with the privacy, with just you as the viewer, so it's not public. That way you can test it to see if the Wi-Fi is consistent.
Question from the audience.
Yes.
Or a question from the internet. Do you think all types of businesses could benefit from live video?
Yes, as long as you have a goal. I think just doing it for the sake of doing it is ineffective. But if you really think about what you want to communicate to your audience and how they can benefit from your services and what you're sharing with them, yeah, absolutely.
Do you recommend almost creating like an editorial calendar for yourself? This is what, these are the things I want to do?
Yeah.
I would think of it as education.
Yeah.
People are interested in learning. So if you are an expert in a particular field or have a nugget of information or something really interesting to share, make it almost topic specific using that editorial type of a calendar. And I think more people would watch. have a purpose, like you were saying.
Yeah, and Facebook, the algorithm really gives Facebook Live videos higher priority. So if you just want to reach your audience, Facebook Live videos are almost always at the top of the page.
Yeah, considering a standard post doesn't hardly reach anybody anymore, the fact that video, because they are becoming a video platform and leaning toward that way, helps a lot. And I'm sure there are algorithms, we don't know them all, but I'm sure it helps. I see a lot of video and feeds that I don't see posted on text, right? So, Jack.
Two questions on the statement. One, what's 321?
Okay, good question. Great question.
Jack asked, what's 3, 2, 1? Countdown.
3, 2, 1. Two, is it, they said you could do it on either your business page or your personal page. Is there a preference? And then the third thing is, this may be not relevant, but I watch the live videos, I turn the sound off, especially if I'm watching one manufacturer, I watch their movements. If they're pointing their hands at me a lot and doing this thing a lot, I don't listen to it because I figure they're preaching at me. So I don't know what that, but I so that's how I honestly screen live videos. I'll turn them, I'll look at it, especially in fact I won't turn the sound on. I just look at their movements. If it looks like they're overly intense about wanting to preach to me, I just go on.
3, 2, 1 is the countdown that when you used to press to go live on Facebook, and there's been some discussion if they went away with it, and I've seen it 3, 2, 1. Teresa still had 3, 2, 1. So it basically counts you down before you're live. You get that little bit of a breather, here I go, and then 3, 2, 1, and you're on. Yeah. And then the other question, the answer, I think most of us decided that our business page is going to be your preferred one because of the algorithms, and then you can share it to a person.
Once a live video is done and it's posted, you can right-click anywhere in the video and get the URL for the video and share that anywhere.
And to his point too, just don't be weird. You know, it's just people like to be with other real people that are, you know, preaching and yelling and laughing. Nobody wants to watch that. So when you're making a video, yes, you want it interesting, but just don't be weird. Be normal.
And you know what? Depending on your creative level, and this is what I think really cool, Facebook, you know, recently made the audio where you could decide you wanted to listen to it. Before it was all silent, and there was a whole bunch of us out there creating a silent video. So you could actually hold poster board and do some cool message. Remember that song NXS where they were throwing their cards at you? You could actually come up with some hats and have some fun and create some silent videos that just made a point without saying a word. Right? So be creative. I guess what, and I'll ask you guys, what about the creative aspect? It's one thing, you know, just to get on the camera, but have some fun.
Yeah.
Be creative.
And you can talk to other people in your video. If someone walks by, like, don't ignore them, like, acknowledge them, like, make it a community experience, and throw up posters and props, like.
Yeah, engage the viewer, engage the people you're with. And it's obviously on topic specific. I mean, if it's a emergency room physician, you know, he's not going to want to be too creative because that will undermine his expertise.
If you could just get that vein plugged up, we'll be right with you.
Hey, does it matter? Like, I've done them where I've done the video and I'm like, oh, that really sucked, and so I erased, you know, I deleted right away. Does that hurt your?
I don't know that answer.
I don't know if it hurts anything, but I'm guessing if you had a business page and you did that 50 times, there may be somebody looking at that going, okay, how many times is this company? I mean, Facebook has a ticker probably for every activity that happens, right? So within that database of what they're looking at, they may say, well, because there's so many deleted videos, there's some issues. Okay, I don't know.
And I would say that nobody likes to see themselves on camera. That's the number one thing. You look at all the movie stars that say they don't watch their movies because they can't stand how they look and act and feel, and I'm the same way. I love to do them, but I hardly ever go back and watch my own stuff.
Never watch my stuff.
I'm just telling you. So don't make that a big deal. You know, just do them.
I would take the video to someone else. Like, if you thought it sucked, like, have them look at it. They probably won't think it sucks. Get some advice on maybe how to improve or what you're doing right.
or practice outside of live video.
Along those lines, I had a question from Dr. Miriam Bashiri. How about doing video maybe a few times until it looks good, then sharing it online later? Is there a big difference between that or just doing it live?
I would say you could do that to start, to get comfortable, but once you've kind of perfected and felt comfortable with the medium, then just go for it. That would be my...
Yeah, I mean, the live is kind of the
Sizzle.
top, the sizzle
Nice.
kind of getting some priority now in the feed, but video itself is going to continue to be, I think, a priority for Facebook from what I've heard and read and understand.
Let's talk about the exciting topic of legality. With patients, customers, guests,
good
as far as statutes, especially as far as, getting their permission, especially if you're going to repurpose it, reshare it in the future. I'm sure there's got to be cases or ways that we can just a little affidavit they can sign or something like that. Any recommendations, comments, stories with that?
So I have an example. We manage social for a indoor dart gun arena, the first one in Texas, called Dart 'em Up in Northwest Austin. So all the content being pushed out is coming from us either recording video, producing video. I'm 99.9% sure that when you go into Dart 'em Up and you're signing a waiver that basically says we can take video, we can use video, we can repurpose video. All of that is built into their 7 or 8 page waiver. So that would be an example of handling the legality of it on the front end. I think would be a way to kind of handle that.
But what about the solopreneurs or the small business owners? I don't know the answer.
Sure, I don't know the answer.
You can just Google talent release
And
just a talent release template, and it'll give you, like, you just replace the business name with your company. And then
There's also an app called Easy Release,
Oh, okay.
and
Very good.
I use it with models.
Okay.
And I actually take a picture of the model, and then they sign the release.
Nice.
And it's all digital.
Great.
What about just verbal consent, though, prior to it
You
happening?
can get that on camera, but it's better to have a signed release form. And if you have somebody below 18 in your video, the parents need to sign the release form. That's part of the law. The other thing that's you just brought up, which you got to be careful of, is if you're filming a live video and you have to be standing by some song where I can't drive 55, that will be flagged in the content. So you want to make sure there's not music that's copyright that somebody will sit on you. So you want to make sure that you're not violating music copyright. And believe me, I know on YouTube that they pick that background.
Facebook has crawlers now.
Facebook has a crawler and algorithm for that too. So don't be adding music that's not yours. Or unless you have exclusive permission.
I've not been able to send out to a group, like my daughter's in the dance groups, and we were just trying to send to the parents so they could practice.
Oh, yeah.
It won't let them, it says the music is copyrighted.
That is correct.
Like reverse Shazam technology
So be aware
or
of
something
that.
where they're listening to the songs.
I'm hoping that what Facebook is going to do is what like YouTube did, and that is add an audio library eventually that you can pull from when you're done with it, that you can decide what music, and I think you'll see that. You just don't see that today.
Yeah.
I have a question, if I may. And it's because I feel two different ways. So I have heard that when doing Facebook Live, if you do about a 5 to 10 minute video, giving it some length, there's more opportunity for people to watch and interact. Sometimes a 5 to 10 minute video for busy people is too long, and it becomes boring if you don't have either somebody who's engaging, right? So I'm just curious to know what other panelists think for like that ideal time frame.
10 minutes is usually
The
like,
golden standard?
you can go up to 90, that's the max. But I would say at least 10 minutes. That way you can get people engaged who are just showing
Story time.
Right.
Yeah.
And people that are
We try to keep them under 10 if we can.
If you're
under
sitting,
10,
I would say yes.
10 and under.
10 and under.
and Bill and Alli and Rachelle, wouldn't you think that just sitting behind a desk would be boring for 10 minutes? It needs to be more action oriented to keep their attention. And so keep in mind what the environment is you're in. If you're going to do a talking head, try to keep it down to a minute or less. If you're doing something like a trail hike or something, or you might get away with it.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, or scenery's always
Or
much
scenery,
easier.
you know.
Yeah.
So if
Or
you're,
walking your dog.
Right. People love dogs, though. I mean, pets,
It
kids.
never fails me.
They love it.
so if you're just out in the public domain somewhere and you're shooting a video, you have to have release for people to.
Public domain is
Not in
considered
Austin.
fair territory.
Yeah.
You just can't you can't single out a person. You can't go up and maybe film just that single person and get in their face, right? It's got to be broad. It's got to
So if
be a
you
broad
stop somebody
spectrum of
passing
it.
by
You
to
can't
ask
be
them a
getting.
question.
You can't be going after somebody on it.
Right, so that's where some of that planning
That's why I
would
was
come in.
confused a minute ago. Somebody said that if someone else walks through your video to include them, I mean, can you really do that without, is that an issue?
If you're in the public, I don't think that's an issue at all.
But if you stop them and interview them, then you might want to give them a release form after that, saying, "Hey, I'm going to be putting this on
You're
YouTube
doing
or
it live.
Facebook or whatever."
You're doing it live.
Well, then just after it's over,
After the
just
fact.
That's what I do.
if they talk to you, they give you permission.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of gray in there as well.
There is.
And I think, yeah,
You're not going to get a problem from most people.
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
But you could run into that one person that,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
So if like in my business, if I'm wanting to put a live tip about, maybe I had an experience with one of my coaching clients, and so I just want to put it out there and say, man, I had a great call today, and talk to somebody about, a calendar hairball, and this is what we went through. So what's a good time for that? Is it 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Because I don't really want to put 10 minutes worth on there. So what's a good, it seems like 60 seconds is almost too fast. It's like, ooh, that whizzed by. So what's a good time frame to put, like a tip or something that I had?
I think a couple minutes would be perfectly fine. Minute to a minute and a half. I follow a health coach that lives, I think he's out in Arizona, and he'll do quick 2 minutes. He'll do it from the grocery store and look at a product and say, this is crap, why are you putting this into your body? And it's usually a minute to 2 where he's just going through and banging it out, and then he's just cranking out that content, probably does one a day.
So those are like spontaneous.
Sure.
Minute and a half.
Yep.
Hey, I was thinking about this. We'll
Yep.
let you know. Okay.
Sure. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
When you pull the lens back on this whole video thing, because I've started doing them again, and I feel like I had to make a decision, YouTube or Facebook Live. And so I picked YouTube because I'm so frustrated with the lack of exposure that Facebook gives to business pages. So, but I'm not sure which, or do you have to do both, or are the apples and oranges? These are all kind of, as I'm trying to decide where my time goes.
Those are 3 great questions.
Great questions.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm a non-YouTuber at this point, so I guess my question back to you on that would be, do you feel like you're getting more exposure on YouTube or not? And how do you get? Yeah, see, that's the tough question.
but I feel like potentially I could be,
Sure.
just based on what I'm hearing out there.
Sure.
And, the fact that unless
I would
really
test it.
pay Facebook.
You could do the Facebook Live, and if you're not referencing like, hey everybody, thanks for joining my Facebook Live right now, if you're just doing the video and you do a 2 to 3 minute video and there's no mention of Facebook in there, repurpose it, upload it to YouTube, and see how many, which one's getting more views than the other.
There are 2 different platforms, just like Twitter's a different platform
Yeah.
from Facebook, and has a different audience. I say don't get married to any single one of them. Experiment with them all.
Sure.
So you can take that content, that URL,
Sure.
on Facebook Live,
Yeah.
and stick it on.
Jeff does it at T-Werx. We
I-
just did
I-
an
And then you
interview
have
last week.
library.
And
Yeah.
the interview
Yes,
he
I didn't
did,
realize that. So.
You can do that. Yeah.
he just did an interview that we'll
Yeah.
be putting up on YouTube that'll get distributed out back to Facebook and all that.
Does it have the little floaty things on it?
Yeah, no. When you download it.
Yeah, when you download it, it's just a video.
Okay, I wondered about that.
Yeah.
So to piggyback on that is I know on Facebook you can pay to bump kind of like an
Boost
ad
it?
boost.
Mhm.
Can you do that with the live videos as well?
Yes.
And if
Yes.
so, would you, because I don't think, it's not that expensive.
But I recommend you find somebody that understands how the ad world works on Facebook. You can waste a lot of money boosting stuff if you don't have somebody
Yeah,
that's.
if you don't have an
helping you manage.
audience selected for that,
Uh-huh.
I call that.
It's a waste of money.
That's
I've
why
never
Facebook's worth $500 million.
Let it
Because
go.
you got
I've
a
never
bunch
made
of
a
people
boost.
boosting posts and they don't know what they're doing, so.
Because they stick it in your face. Hey, you could boost this post.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I repost other
People never
content.
know.
Boost this post.
I get it.
Before anyone fluffs their egos on views, what counts as a view? Is it 3 seconds? Is it 10% of the
3
video?
seconds,
Is it-
3 seconds on Facebook, and watch time on YouTube is a lot longer. It's like 15, 16 seconds,
Okay.
13 seconds. So
Yes.
that's why you can't compare apples to apples. You've got to look at views versus views, different social networks. Get involved with them all.
Yeah.
Just know that live video is becoming a real hot topic, has been hot and getting hotter, and it's predicted to go huge in 2018. So Jeff just pointed at me. We're going to wrap it up. We want to thank you guys. We want to thank Bill from No Time from Social, Alli with AB Marketing and Copywriting, and Rachelle Grossman with NPT.
A, B, C, D.
No, it's in.
Life is a ranch and to publish.
Right, there you go. And these guys are great. They're truly, I've known them. They're great at this, and we've had a good time. We thank you guys for watching
I have
live.
one
Bill,
fun thing
go
to
ahead.
add. One fun thing to add at the end. I think it's facebook.com/, I think it's live feed.
Yes.
It's only on the desktop, but if you're ever bored at night, go to that Facebook live feed. You'll get a map of the world. You would be, and every single dot is somebody that's currently on live feed.